and gentlemen, please welcome the CEO of TM Forum, Mr. Nick Willetts.
Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Digital Transformation World Keynote Session. It's a great pleasure to welcome you here this morning to a stage that is going to host representatives of over 2 billion customers from around the world as part of a conference that hosts another 2 billion customers represented through the innovation we see on our expo floor, the conference, and of course, our Catalyst Showcase. This year's event features more than 550 different companies from over 100 companies worldwide, a truly global event. And we bring people together because this is the event where the real conversations happen. This is your forum and your event. The only not-for-profit event of its kind. And this year's event with a new name is part of a pivot for the TM Forum, representative of a big shift that's happening in our industry, because IT is no longer the back office cost center of our business. Today, IT is the business, because in a digital business, it's all about software. So what brings us here today? We're coming out of 3 decades of remarkable change in our world, and many of you in the room here today have helped to make that happen. We've seen so much transformation in how we communicate, how we work together, how we travel, and how we socialize, all through the use of mobile technology. But the next wave of the digital revolution is now upon us, and it's not going to take another 3 decades to have the same kind of impact. It's going to move much faster, and it's touching every industry and every aspect of society, going deeper into the fabric of our society today. Digital transformation is the business issue of our time. Every provider faces a seemingly deadly cocktail of challenges. How to remain profitable in the face of market saturation and commoditization. How to compete in the widespread world of digital disruption where hyperscale internet companies seemingly appear overnight. And how to make the leap required to be successful in an age of digital customer experience. But there's a fourth challenge, and arguably the most important challenge that the first 3 are distracting us from. How do we, while addressing all these challenges, reimagine the role, the purpose, and the business model of telco to unlock new paths to growth? And how do we ensure a sustainable future for our industry? We're moving from an environment where everything has been about scale, like a production line in a factory, churning out the product in greater and greater quantities, to an environment where today is about mass customization, the ability to meet the needs of so many different industries and enterprises who are themselves going through a transformation journey. Success in the next decade, success with 5G, will be about being able to embrace the needs of our enterprise customers and to seize those opportunities. But how do you get there? How do you get the agility to move quickly enough? The truth is, transformation is not easy. Transformation projects around the world, around 70% of them fail. But I believe you have to look at transformation not as a project, but rather as a journey, a continuous journey of continuous improvement. We're never going to stop transforming. But right now is a time when our industry needs to kickstart that transformation, and we're starting to see that happen. TM Forum is privileged to work with over 850 member companies and almost 100,000 professionals within those companies all around the world. And we have a unique vantage point into the challenges and the opportunities of transformation. I work closely with leaders and their teams around the world who are going through this transformation, and it's fair to say there's a huge amount of frustration. Leaders frustrated at the pace of change in their business, that they are transforming the technology, yet the business processes and the way that their business counterparts work is not changing fast enough to seize the opportunity of that. Leaders frustrated that their teams are not transforming and seem to resist change. And at the same time, those same teams frustrated that they're just being asked to do everything differently, an onslaught of new buzzwords and new ways of working that feels like it can undo years of expertise. But the truth is, you cannot succeed in digital with a 20th century culture. If you are scared of failure, how can you possibly push the boundaries and start to innovate? How can you succeed at the pace of the digital market if you're hanging on to 20th century ways of procuring and working together and delivering technology and working with business partners? And the question I ask these teams as I meet them around the world is, are you transforming because somebody's told you to, or because you really believe that you need to transform? Are you evolving to survive? Are you transforming to thrive in this market? But the question I get back is it really worth it? It's so difficult. We have to change so many aspects of how we work. Can we really do it? Is it worth it? Absolutely, it's worth it. For a business, society, even the way that we work perspective, over $1 trillion to be unlocked for this industry over the next decade by partnering and becoming part of the digital fabric with other industries, going beyond connectivity. From a society point of view, these technologies give us the ability to solve some of the most complex challenges that we have in our world today to create a sustainable planet. And for us as individuals, working in a digital environment is simply more rewarding. It's more fun and more creative. And for all those challenges we also see teams that are winning. Those teams with bold leadership, those prepared to challenge the status quo, those embracing diversity in every aspect of their business, in how they think, in the composition of their teams, in their ways of working. Teams are winning, and they are winning in this transformation. We have been working increasingly closely with different TM Forum members around the world over the last year since the introduction of our digital maturity model. A model you may recall we launched here just a year ago, and which was brought together by 30 different companies bringing their best-of-breed models from around the world. And throughout the last year, we've collected thousands of data points on what's happening in that transformation. And we've driven more and more collaboration around the common issues that we find today. I'm delighted to announce this morning the next step in that journey. We're now announcing our 2 first certified partners to roll out the digital maturity model around the world to more and more operators. And those 2 companies are 2 who've been in this from the start, working closely with us to develop the model, and today taking the next step. Those are Deloitte and Deticon. With their global footprint, they have been through the process of being assessed to show that they can use the model in an appropriate way, but they've also made a commitment not just to build a private model, but one that is open to the industry and one which continuously harvests the best in the business and allows us to move towards industry benchmarking. These will just be the first in many partners, I'm sure, and will help us all to move forward through this transformation by providing a holistic transformation approach, not one built into silos in different aspects of the business or one just understood at the top of the business. But one thing has shone through our experience with using the digital maturity model, and that is that for all of the understanding of what we believe needs to change and the increasing clarity on what good looks like in a digital business and how to leap there from where we've come from, unless you have a clear vision of where you're going, it's very difficult to move towards that goal. If we take a step back for a minute, every single industry on this planet is facing the same challenges. And every aspect of society is changing. Industry verticals, traditionally siloed, we know the boundaries are blurring, but they're starting to overlap with one another. You can think of them more like industry diagonals today. And the role of the technology industry and the telecoms industry is rapidly becoming one that underpins all of that, surrounds those industries with capability and can offer new capabilities and new services to them. The question is, how do you succeed in this market? It brings so many new challenges, not least how do you manage these new digital ecosystems? And how do you ensure a market that is open and fair, but respects privacy and security, and remains competitive in the long run? We have a vision for an open digital world, one which is not just about the first to market dominating the environment, but one where this industry is a digital partner to companies and enterprises, cities, governments, every aspect of society. And we have so much more to offer than connectivity alone. Connectivity will remain the backbone of the digital world, but like a backbone in a body, you need a nervous system as well that helps that ecosystem to work. And this all comes down to the leadership in this industry, the people at this conference this week who can help to provide that digital leadership. Imagine if we can remove the friction of partnering between enterprises, if we can drive new levels of interoperability that are simpler than ever before, if we can liberate our enterprise customers from their frustrations of IT, which is not their core competency in many cases, if we can enable a new wave of experimentation and innovation, if we can take that innovation to greater heights, and if we can take our industry to a role where it's attractive and harnessing the power of startups, rather than often being passed by as too difficult to work with. Doing that requires a huge change in mindset, one from siloed ecosystems where it's all about us, to one where we understand that greater value is unlocked by being part of a collaborative ecosystem. An open digital world ultimately comes down to one thing: collaboration. Collaboration, collaboration, collaboration is the key to being able to deliver this open digital world where companies can work together easily, and by bringing together their expertise, open up new possibilities and new growth for everybody. Without collaboration, how can this industry compete with the hyperscale internet world? We must partner, we must federate our capabilities to be able to create an environment of true competition, at the same time competing, but at the same time being able to collaborate where it makes sense, in some cases with those same hyperscale internet companies. We need to provide a common intelligent edge to our industry, federated around the world, not distributed into a patchwork of multiple operators in multiple regions. To do that, you need a place where you can easily experiment and learn and share safely, even when that means sharing the mistakes. You need a place where you can embrace open standards, but also open source, and you can do so by coming together with multiple different organizations around the world. And you need a place that embraces those new ways of working that will underpin future collaboration. I want to make the TM Forum that place. And we're already well underway with that journey. At the start of this year, our members set out a bold new work program for TM Forum, 5 key areas that we're focusing on this year and we're already making huge progress with. At the core of those work programs is a central theme of simplification, automation, and intelligence to survive in this market, but also to grow, helping service providers to radically simplify, strive for zero-touch automation of their entire operations, but also to drive continuous improvement through actionable intelligence. Central to that vision is our Open API program, launched with our manifesto 2 years ago here in Nice. And since then, we've seen the program move to new heights, over 50 REST-based open APIs that are used by 5,000 developers in over 700 companies in over 60 countries around the world. And 40 of the world's largest companies committed to putting these APIs in place to drive interoperability and to reduce the friction of partnering, not just within our industry, but as we serve new enterprises as well. This year, we've been taking the next step with that program as it continues to grow, partnering with the Linux Foundation to ensure that the TM Forum open APIs become part of key open source projects such as ONAP. And I'm delighted to say that the open APIs will form a key part of the Beijing release of ONAP in the coming months. We're also taking the next step in realizing that collections of APIs are essential to be able to look at pre-packaged interoperability between federated operators and between us and our vendor partners. And that's why we're taking the first step with champions such as Telefonica and Telstra to create API suites, looking at topics such as network as a service and customer management. The API program is having a huge impact on the industry very quickly, and it's been embraced by some of the leading minds and led by the TM Forum members. But now we're taking the next stage beyond that in that journey, and that's to providing the reference architecture of what the future looks like. In the last few months, we've spent a lot of time looking at where our old and out-of-date thinking on how OSS and BSS systems, as we've seen in the past, needs to change, and what kind of architecture is going to be needed to thrive in this new open digital world and create the opportunities to monetize technologies like 5G. The open digital architecture, put together by a huge number of companies bringing their architectural expertise, combines a vision for where that goes so that our vendor partners can start to build products that meet the needs of the future industry, and provides a common reference architecture and common language. And we're combining that technology architecture with a business architecture that helps us to see how enterprise business in the digital world also works. This is all designed to drive frictionless partnering between vendor partners and new enterprise customers. Underpinning our ability to deliver that vision are two game-changing technologies. The first will come as no surprise because it feels like everybody is talking about it, and it's well up the hype curve. Artificial intelligence, for all of the hype, is the only way we can see that this industry can cope with the complexity of the world that we manage today, to survive in this market, but also to be able to move at the speed of the digital market to create the open digital world I've described. Here, this week, we have 9 of our Catalyst proof of concept projects on the show floor here for you to see, looking at every aspect of AI, going beyond customer interfaces and customer management, deeper into the network, and how these technologies will help to transform and move us towards that zero-touch automation. There's a second game-changing technology we've defined in our agenda for this year, however, which is also incredibly important when we think about federation of capabilities between operators and how we service into different ecosystems out there. And that's distributed ledger technologies, or blockchain as it's more commonly known. Here this week we have 2 projects starting to look at the use of blockchain. We expect that to be the first of many more. Now, our Catalyst program has for a long time been one of the very unique things about the TM Forum. Catalysts each year bring together hundreds of companies to collaborate. And here this week, we have 25 brand new collaborative projects brought together by over 120 companies working together day and night over the last 3 months to deliver groundbreaking projects that move our industry forward. And today, we're going to be taking the next step in that journey. We see the potential for programs such as the Catalyst program to bring us together with other industries. And the first industry we've chosen to focus on is in media and entertainment, an industry that's been moving closer together with our industry for many years. And this morning, I'm delighted to announce a new collaboration with IBC. IBC is one of the world's largest media and entertainment events, but what you may not know is that it's owned by 5 media and entertainment industry associations. And we're going to be working together over the coming months to produce new sets of catalysts that look at how we can combine telco capability with the needs of the media and entertainment market, harmonizing the innovation from both markets out there to unlock new sources of growth and opportunity. These will deliver new groundbreaking projects and are all part of our movement towards bringing our industry closer together with the industries it will serve through working with collaborative partners. But we need to go further. We need to drive towards an environment of continuous innovation in our industry and continuous collaboration. And that's why we're setting out today our vision for open digital labs. We want to create an environment, both virtual and physical, where we can take the capabilities of Catalyst to the next level of maturity. Just a year ago, we started our Open API Lab with IBM, which provides Catalyst with the capabilities to test out and use the APIs continuously around the world, and a sandbox for using them with open source software. And over the last few months, we've been working with a range of companies, including Sigma Systems, who've been spearheading us in this journey to take capabilities from Sigma into a sandbox environment where Catalysts can use them and we can drive continuous innovation. We hope that IBM and Sigma will be the first of many vendors who choose to open up their capabilities into this collaborative environment to really see and learn through that process how we can change the market around us. We're also announcing today the physical aspect of those open digital labs, our first physical lab, which is going to be based in the city of Bristol in the UK, working with the University of Bristol. Now, you may not know Bristol if you're not from the UK, but it's quite a remarkable combination of capabilities, which is why we've chosen this collaboration. Firstly, it has its own 5G testbed, and it's one of the leading 5G testbed and research institutes in the world. Secondly, it has its own software-defined network, which is available to the university and academia to test and explore. And thirdly, it's one of the leading research universities in the world, producing some of the most experienced and qualified PhD students in this field every year. Working with the University of Bristol, we can open up a new range of physical capabilities, adding to those virtual capabilities, which we can give to our Catalyst projects to take their projects to the next level. And this is just the first stage in our vision for delivering that continuous environment for open innovation. Now, this morning I've talked a lot about the challenges for our industry and what needs to change, and how TM Forum members are coming together in your forum to make that happen. But it's also important on any long journey to celebrate the progress we're making and to celebrate the achievements we have. And last night at our Gala Awards dinner, I was reminded of the progress that's being made. Some remarkable stories. We've had more entries into our Excellence Awards this year than we've ever had before, and the quality has just been exceptional. Let's take a quick look at the finalists and winners from last night's ceremony. Wow, such an impressive set of companies, and if you look into the award entries, you'll find some remarkable stories of success there. Congratulations again to all our finalists and all our winners. It's a long journey in transformation, and celebrating on the way is absolutely crucial to success. So in closing, let me summarize. We have a vision for an open digital world, one where companies can work together and collaborate to compete in this market. And that's at the center of our vision for this industry. This forum wants to be the forum that brings together everybody, companies, industry associations, open source projects, to work together to drive towards delivering that vision. And we're going to work with those prepared to collaborate to make that happen, because those are the companies and organizations that will win. We have at the center of that our open standards, our open APIs, and our open digital architecture to make that happen, and a new vision for open digital labs to provide continuous innovation, complemented by new ecosystem catalysts in collaboration with IBC, just as the starting point. One last request from me before I open it up to the rest of our keynote speakers. Please make the most of the week ahead of you. You've taken time out to travel here to Nice, and it's certainly sunny outside today, but we have so much content on offer here this week. So please explore the huge variety of content available to you. Look at the expo, the innovations that are on show there, the new demos our sponsors and exhibitors have on show, the huge variety of content being shared in our conference, and 25 catalyst projects that you will have never seen before, showcasing breakthrough technologies. Collaborate with the best minds in the business. We have so many people here this week who are here to collaborate. Join the TM Forum collaborative programs you're all part of and all welcome to be part of. And finally, make this the point at which you start to become a true digital partner in the industry. Enjoy the event. Thanks very much.